Okay, we're back at this point. We've got, as you can see here, got all our nuts in place. Now we're going to go through the process. It's set to 60 pounds right now. So I'm going to go through the process of actually ensuring that all of the nuts are properly torqued. And this is where your star pattern comes in handy. So we're going to start next to our largest bolt here. And you just basically go with the torque wrench until it clicks. Like so. Alright, we'll move across to the opposite nut. Go back. And each time you're doing this, you're basically moving across to the opposite bolt, 180 degrees. This is your star pattern, and it just helps to ensure that you get all your nuts torqued down in as even fashion as possible. That way you don't get one side torqued more than the other. And this, obviously, as you can see, can't take a while. You got quite a few nuts to assemble, which is pretty typical of a beadlock. And as I'm doing this, I'm losing track, of course, of which one I'm working on last. It's pretty normal for a beadlock to have a good portion of bolts evenly spaced all the way around. But this being an internal beadlock design, you get the benefit of a beadlock on both sides, both the inside and the outside of the rim. So it's definitely a big advantage over the single beadlock, the outer beadlocks. And of course, with this, you get the distinct advantage of having a rim that's DOT approved as well. Whereas a lot of your beadlocks, actual beadlocks, are not technically approved for on-road use, although a lot of guys will run them anyway. But alright, so now that we got everything torqued to 60, what we're going to do is we're going to adjust our setting to 80 foot-pounds. And we're going to repeat this same process, same exact process. We're going to move in a star pattern, bolt to bolt to bolt, and that should complete assembly. Something to note as you're doing the initial tightening down, even of these main 3 bolts to get the rims pulled together, is try to keep an eye in between the gap between the rims to even if you can feel in there or whatnot, and just to make sure that that O-ring hasn't slipped. Because if it gets pinched in between these rims, instead of getting into that channel, you're more than likely going to damage your O-ring to the point where it won't actually seal up when you go to use it the second time. And as I stated, they're not cheap to replace, so it's good to pay attention the first time around. So I'm going to go ahead and take a break. We'll get this torque down to 80, and I'll come back. We'll get the valve stem back in, and we'll air it back up. And we're just about there.